As an artist, I think it's so important to highlight the trust and comfortability that a client feels when they work with us and how open discussions can really deepen the experience of getting tattooed. In this series, I explore and engage in honest and open conversations with my special guests through the therapeutic process of tattooing. Tattoos are more than just an art, it's a connection. Welcome to Tattoos and Tribulations. Hey guys, and welcome to Tattoos and Tribulations. Today I'm joined by my good friend Casey, who is a nurse and a tattoo apprentice here in Toronto. Today we are going to be discussing being a nurse during COVID times. I'm sure a lot of people have their own opinions with regards to it, so having a nurse here to talk about her perspective is the perfect opportunity to educate myself as well as others who will be watching this on how we can navigate COVID while being respectful to people in our lives who are nurses. Casey will also be getting a Black Widow spider today here on her tiny little arm. If you wanted to discuss a little bit about yourself while I put the stencil on you.
Yeah, sure. So I've been nursing for about 3 years now. Luckily I'm on a neuro floor, so I don't have to deal with COVID patients directly. I also do a tattoo apprenticeship.
In terms of being a nurse during this time, what would you say the differences are between when you first started versus now that we're in COVID?
Definitely more stressful. I think pre-COVID, there was always a nursing shortage, and we've always dealt with it. A lot of the issues in nursing have stemmed from not having enough people to help you. And then the pandemic hit. Everyone in the healthcare field was kind of like in panic mode. How are we going to deal with the amount of people coming in with COVID while also not having enough nurses? And that was like the primary issue. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Working in neurology, do you often see a lot of COVID patients on your floor, or are you ever put in the COVID wing of the hospital that you work at?
I work in like surgery, right?
Okay.
Scheduled surgeries were put on hold, shifted or put into places that needed more nurses. For example, if a medicine floor needed more nurses, bring the nurses over there. We're all kind of figuring these things out together.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
But how about you as a tattoo artist? How is it affecting you?
So despite not having any income, I totally understand the position of it, but I do have my own kind of queries with regards to the government and their systems and stuff like that. So what's your opinion on how the government is handling this as a nurse?
All I know and all I want to say is that I think there are things that the government could be doing better. I get the frustration that people have because they have like lives, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like educating people about the purpose of wearing a mask. Maybe people just don't get it. They don't understand that the mask isn't just for them, it's for everyone else in that surrounding area.
What about people who are not on board with this vaccine?
When the vaccines first came out, there was a lot of public pushback, but also in the healthcare field, I found there was a lot of people who didn't trust the vaccine as well, who are now in the process of changing their minds because so many people have gotten it.
They just didn't want to be a guinea pig.
And that's totally understandable. In general, I think that this whole pandemic and the rules around the pandemic is not black and white, and we have to weigh things out. I even struggle with like what my opinion is, even as a nurse. Working as a nurse, you're supposed to be telling people, oh, stay at home, like don't go out, don't socialize. People who are non-essential, stay home. But at the same time, as a tattoo apprentice, you see the other side of it as someone who's self-employed. Trying to understand it from both perspectives is very hard.
Being a tattoo apprentice, when were you supposed to start?
End of November, and now everything's kind of put on hold. When is the end in sight?
Is there anything that you want to say to people who may downplay the virus or people who break the rules?
People aren't stupid. If you're going out and hanging out in large gatherings and whatever, you know that you're not supposed to be doing it. I think people who do that are actively
Prolonging.
prolonging the issue.
How do you find this lockdown in comparison to the last one? Because I was scared. I was scared the last time that we had COVID. Literally wouldn't go outside, take like a hot shower, boiling hot water. I think there's just more knowledge to the virus now, and it's making people a lot more like lenient in how they take care of it.
Yes, that's totally what it is. Even in the first lockdown in the hospital as a nurse, people were panicking. We didn't have a set plan in place, and we were figuring it out all together.
As it was happening too.
As a bedside nurse, if you were pulled one way, you'd have to go that way. And then if things changed, they had to put you somewhere else, then you'd have to go somewhere else. And it was just a lot of being in unfamiliar places because no one knew what to expect. You're constantly on your toes. Now that we have a better understanding of what COVID is, I'm not saying that we know everything, but we know a little bit more. The plans are starting to solidify.
That's good. So there's a little bit of a silver lining.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is still very stressful, but it's not as stressful in the sense that you don't know what you're jumping into.
How do you think this is going to look like for the coming months? Especially with things warming up, people are going to want to come party a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
If you're going to take a risk, make sure it's necessary and make sure that it's calculated.
You have to like weigh out everything.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to go internationally traveling at the peak of wave 2, for example.
Yeah.
Just be very cautious, socially distance, wear a mask when you need, educate people.
Educate yourself.
You know, educate yourself, and you tailor your life to doing those precautions to the best of your ability. And don't get swayed by like the frustration of others. Like I said, this is not an issue that's black and white. It's always going to be in a gray area. So you just have to weigh out the benefits and the rest of everything. If you're doing stupid things, it's because you're just ignorant.
The measure of a good person.
This is getting very
Very
existential.
philosophical.
I'm curious if they have like different opinions. Let's say they were sitting in
your
seat.
position.
Oh, I just went to a party last night. It was pretty good.
If I found out that they were with people that aren't in their regular bubble, I would probably ask them to leave. This is my business, this is my health, this is my safety. You weren't willing to respect that for me, knowing that you had an upcoming appointment. I have every right to tell you that I am not comfortable to continue having business with you. As much as I understand that people are lonely, people have their hardships, I want to be fair to myself and say that I don't agree with those things. People have been extremely respectful, but I would definitely tell them that I don't agree. Our case is going down at the moment.
Yeah, if you look at how many people are getting tested positive and things like that, you see the trend is going down.
Okay, you're done. You wanna have a look?
My little black
Your little
spider.
spider.
That is so cool.
Do you have any advice for people who are healthcare workers or frontline workers?
Don't be reckless. I know it's going to be frustrating for a very long time. Like you said, we are social creatures. We've been that way since the beginning of time. This will pass.
We understand that there are certain limitations in what we can do to help, but definitely taking into consideration the boundaries of what we're allowed to do and working within them. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a definitive end in sight, but the least we can do is help out as a society and as a community and give back in ways that are within our capacity. Stay home, wear a mask, do your little Zoom meetings, and don't be a dick.
Exactly.
I really want to thank Casey for being part of my show today and for giving her perspective on the healthcare industry. I really hope that things start to look up for you as well as other nurses and doctors who are also affected by this pandemic. If you want to check Casey's tattoo work out on Instagram, it's at Pen and Bones. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. But if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all.
It's always a good conversation being in this chair.
Yeah.
Like a spider with like people aren't growing third tail or like
Third arms.
third tails.
Yeah, third tails.
Look at it from the perspective of someone who's unemployed, right?
You calling me unemployed?
Or
I'm joking. I'm joking.